you ready to get serious about building content sites and building a profitable business online? Welcome to the Niche Website Builders Podcast. We bring you the latest field-tested tips, tricks, and strategies for building a profitable online asset. We interview industry experts, share customer success stories, and reveal our own experiences working on hundreds of sites to inspire and motivate you to make something happen. Let's do this.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Niche Website Builders Podcast. I'm your new host, James. If you missed the podcast a couple of weeks ago where I was on as a guest, I was introduced as one of the new hosts. Now, today I've got a special guest for you, a fellow Kiwi, Sam Matla. And he makes his money online through his website selling mainly online courses. And I wanted to bring Sam on to give a little bit of diversification in terms of different ways you can monetize your blog or your niche website. Now, we cover things about improving the monetization of your current digital products or online courses, strategies you can use to up your average order value or increase your sales. We also cover email marketing, but not just for digital products and online courses, but also email marketing as someone who just runs a niche website blog. For example, if you're just doing display advertising and affiliate marketing. And then we also cover off for those who are looking to maybe jump into the digital product or online course space within their niche website. Now, usually would monetize through display ads and affiliate marketing strategies, but creating your own info product or digital product is another way you can safeguard the revenue and the profits of your website because you own 100% of that revenue. And we cover how you can potentially position your site to be able to start selling info products or digital products and online courses and strategies around that. So stay tuned and enjoy the show.
This episode is brought to you by Niche Website Builders, an agency dedicated to helping people just like you build profitable content sites. Niche Website Builders are the hands-off content site marketing agency you always wished existed. It's run by content site marketers for content site marketers, and they help both investors and individuals alike build profitable online properties. They provide a fully outsourced approach to content creation, link building, and done-for-you website builds, the same approach they use on their own six-figure portfolios. For example, their content packages come with a proprietary keyword research process, are written by in-house native English speakers, formatted using templates proven to convert, and uploaded to WordPress with affiliate links added so that all you need to do is hit the publish button. Check them out at nichewebsite.builders/show. That's nichewebsite.builders/show and fill out the form to get coupon codes for 10% more content or a 10% discount on links with your first order sent right to your inbox.
All right, guys, welcome to the Niche Website Builders Podcast. Today, I've got a very special guest, Sam Matla. How are you going, Sam?
I'm doing well, James. How are you?
Not too bad. It's good to have another Kiwi on the podcast. So if there's any other Kiwis listening to this, drop a comment down on the YouTube or give it a good rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It'll help us out. But I wanted to start just by going a little bit into your background for those who don't know you.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Sam Matla. I run a business called EDM Prod. I also consult with other course creators and coaches and help them scale their business. And it all started for me back in 2010. And I was about 14 years old. And, I made $5 a week from mowing the lawns at home. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I need to make more money. Like, I want to buy more stuff. I want the iPod Touch or whatever I wanted at the time. So I went onto Google and I searched how to make money online as a teenager. And a bunch of stuff came up. But one of the tips on some article that I was reading was start a blog. And I was like, what's a blog? So anyway, this led me down a path, ended up starting up this website on skateboarding. I was in skateboarding at the time. And over that year, I wrote, I think it was 90 articles on the skateboarding blog and made a grand total of $20, but I couldn't actually get that money because Amazon associates had like a $100 threshold. So I made no money. I spent all this time, made no money. And I got to the end of that year and I was like, this stuff doesn't work. Like making money online is a scam. It's not for me, whatever. Just abandoned it for a few years. A couple of years later, when I was 17, I decided to have another crack. So I started up a blog on productivity, wrote a bunch of articles. This time it did a little bit better. Got more email subscribers, got more SEO traffic, but still didn't make really any money. I was trying to do affiliate mostly, didn't make any money from that. And I got to a point where, and by the way, in parallel to this, I've been making music for about 4 years, producing electronic music. And it got to a point where I looked at the next 5 years. I was 18 years old. And I kind of asked myself, do I want to be writing articles about productivity for the next 5 years, which I don't really care about that much? Or do I want to try and become a full-time artist? And so I decided I'd become a full-time artist and I'd start a blog about music production on the side, just to maybe supplement income. Within 2 weeks, those two goals just flipped around. So I was spending 8 hours a day on the blog, which is EDM prod, and producing music like 2 to 3 hours a day. And the thing with that is just gain traction super quickly. So I had 150 email subscribers before I even launched the site, which at the time was a lot to me. The SEO traffic just picked up super quick and launched a course about 6 months after that, and it started making money.
Nice.
So that's kind of my background. Yeah. And that was 8 years ago. And at this point, EDM Prod's a pretty well-known company and name in the music production space. And we've got a small team. We have a bunch of courses, and yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's been a blast.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Just to go back on some of your blogs, then, what do you think had with your older blogs? What essentially didn't let them succeed? Did your keyword research and content writing kind of change as you went from blog to now with EDM Prod that was successful?
Yeah, so I think with the first one, the skateboarding one, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like putting up articles, no SEO knowledge whatsoever. The second one took more of a strategic approach and therefore got some better results. And then with EDM Prod, it was like, yeah, everything needs to be SEO optimized at the beginning at least. But to be honest, it quickly got to the point where I was like, I just want to put out great content. And that's what I did. So I wasn't too focused. I know this podcast is on niche websites, and I know SEO optimization is very important for that. But I was kind of like, if I write good content, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 word articles, it'll eventually work, and it did. So, yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. So then you started with an SEO approach, but then as you kind of got in, you just wrote on topics that kind of like you felt like writing about?
A bit of both. Obviously, I'd like target certain keywords that had high volume. But, I think, admittedly, like I haven't been in the SEO game recently, but I think there's a huge focus on tactics as opposed to like underlying strategy and foundation. And I think if you're playing the tactic game, and I'm not talking black hat or like grey hat tactics necessarily, but Google changes their algorithm so much. And I think what they ultimately want is great content. And if you can produce that, then you have a much higher chance of both ranking, but staying up there for longer. And so that's what I focused on. That's what we still focus on. I'd say it's like a very kind of minimalistic approach to SEO. Like we optimize the meta, the title, all that kind of stuff. We build links. But beyond that, it's like we're not going to go into these advanced sort of tactics and worry about that too much.
Yeah, fair enough. So then is content publishing currently still your priority on the site, or is it kind of shifted more towards the monetization area?
It's definitely shifted towards monetization. And I think what I realized is when I started EDM Product, started as a blog, and my business experience wasn't that great. And over time, it's, I've become more intentional about like, what's our strategy? How does this piece of content lead to a potential sale? Content marketing, basically, that's what it is. And at this point, we are focused on, I'd say we're split 50-50 between blog content and YouTube. I think if you're selling courses specifically, YouTube makes a ton of sense. I think it's the best platform to be on, because there's like a clear path between someone watching your video on YouTube and buying a video course from you. And it's not the same when someone like reads an article and then buys a course from you. It's just, I don't think the path from article to course purchase is as smooth as YouTube video to course purchase.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. So then, since you started the blog, you obviously transitioned into YouTube. Did you turn your blog content into YouTube content, or was YouTube content kind of like its own standalone?
Both. Yeah. We've turned quite a lot of our blog content into YouTube content, especially the stuff that ranks well. And the other thing is, as you'll know, like YouTube videos often rank higher than website links on Google. So it was kind of like we have to do this. But yeah, at the moment, I'd say most of our YouTube content is separate to the blog content. Like we're not just replicating it out.
Nice. Well, this transitions nicely into a little bit of the monetization side of the courses. Now, I had a call with Sam, I think around end of last year, and implemented some of these tips. This month managed to essentially double my revenue on my info product sales. And I teased this on the podcast I was on just a couple of weeks ago as a guest on this podcast. So now we're going to spill the beans. So just for the audience, essentially tips and ideas to enhance their monetization for their online courses, whether that's, discounted sales, bundling, price anchoring, and all that jazz.
Sure. I mean, where do I start? There's a few things that have worked well for us and you as well. The first thing is, you kind of touched on this, is the bundling strategy. So, in our case, we have several different courses. We have 5 courses that are between $150 and $400 each. And so we bundle these together. So we have what's called the Pro Producer Bundle. We sell it for a discounted price. It brings in quite a bit of extra revenue. But the thing is, because this is not like a novel strategy, and people will listen to this and they'll be like, oh yeah, of course, bundle your courses. But what people don't do is manually upsell existing customers into that bundle. So one thing we make an effort to do every few months is we'll email our existing customers, usually people who bought 1 or 2 courses, and we'll say, hey, do you want to upgrade to this bundle? We'll take a further discount off the bundle based on the courses you've bought. And yeah, we get a great response to that. We usually get like 50 to 100 responses back to that email. And I'd say about 20% of those convert into a sale. So doing little manual things like that, I think, can be super helpful in generating cash flow and revenue. One thing that internet marketers and online course creators forget about is just like old school email and sales tactics. They're so focused on automation and like setting up all these funnels, which is important to do. But sometimes sending out an email to your list or like personally emailing a customer, it can make you far more money than you'll ever make with automation. So the bundling thing is really helpful. I think the second thing is really like diving into your pricing strategy. So I see a lot of course creators, they have a course, they sell it for one price, let's say it's $200, and that's fine. But I think what you want to do, even if it's just for the sake of getting data, is having a higher tier package. So you have a $200 course, and then maybe you have a $500 package that includes a coaching call or includes a bunch of bonuses. Now, not only will you get some customers who come to your page who happen to have more purchasing power, they see the $500 option, they go for it, you get more money, but also you can start to see like patterns. So for instance, we had with EDM Foundations, which is our flagship course for beginners, we used to have 2 packages. I think it was $127 and $197 back in the day. And what we noticed is that something like 75% of people were buying the $197 package, the more expensive one. And I actually had a coach who looked at the starter and he said, you need to raise your prices and you need to add like a higher tier package, because there's 75% of people who are buying this more expensive one. Chances are like half of those people would pay even more. And so we upped the price like $197, $297, and our sales volume did not drop whatsoever, but our average order value went way up, of course. So just by having like more than one pricing option on your sales page, you can start to get this data and you can start to price effectively because, you know, most of us, I'd say 99% of us, we just price our courses arbitrarily. We're like, oh yeah, $100, $200. And yeah, it's hard to price correctly, but by getting this data, you can kind of get closer to the ideal price point. So bundling, discounting, I'm trying to think. The third one, and this will be my last one, is I kind of touched on this with course creators and internet marketers focusing too much on automation. I think the thing that changed our business and really moved it forward was focusing on the marketing calendar. When you look at a business like e-commerce businesses or big retail businesses, they have their whole year just dialed in. Like, here's what we're doing in Jan, Feb, March. Here's what we're doing for Black Friday, like all this kind of stuff. And I think, and you've got an audience and you've got leads coming in, dialing in your marketing calendar. What are you doing in terms of product launches? What are you doing in terms of sales? Maybe you've got a bundle promotion that you're doing with a few courses, partnerships, all this kind of stuff. Like, dialing that in is the way to make money, in my opinion, more so than like spending 5 weeks tweaking your back-end email automation that only 10 subscribers are going through each week. It's just, you're not going to get results from that.
No, fair enough. I mean, as digital marketers or affiliate marketers, we're trying to do automation because we don't want to basically spend our time. Our whole idea of getting into this business was the fact to automate.
Both are important. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And I'm speaking specifically about like course creators. I think, you know, I've just seen it in myself and other people where it's like, you spend all this time on automation and it's good to have that on the back end. But I kind of see it as like if I look at our data, and maybe it's just specific to my business, but I don't think it is. Most of our money is generated through launches and sales, like 80% of it. The other 20%, yeah, it's organic, it's automation, it's the back end. And so the back end creates that like constant flow and trickle of sales, but the most of the revenue comes from like events, you know, and it also comes down to what type of business do you want to build. Like, a lot of people don't want to keep doing launches and sales and go through that cycle. I actually don't think it's that time consuming when you get it done and you systemize it. Like, we don't spend that much time launching new products, but yeah, controversial opinion, but I'll stand by it.
Are you ever worried about discounting too often or too much? For example, say you've already discounted all your courses, say down to $297, which is on the website maybe, and then you run a Black Friday sale and now it's, you know, $197 or $147, but then every few months there's another sale. Do you think that stops people buying the product at the bigger price, or you lose out on any money as you start to sell on so many discounts?
I love this topic because I've thought about it a lot. We never used to discount. And the reason why we never used to discount is because I'd say 6-7 years ago, I watched a video from Derek Halpin, who ran Social Triggers back in the day. And he said, you should never discount your courses. You should never discount your products because kind of what you just said, like, people start to expect a discount and you're devaluing your products. So I never discounted. I was like, he makes more money than me. I'll trust him and I won't discount. And then I don't know what changed. I think we just decided to we decided to do a Black Friday discount for the first time. We never used to because of this philosophy. And like, we made stacks of money. At the time, it was like our best month ever. And I was like, why are we not doing this more often? And so, but I still had this thing at the back of my mind. I was like, all right, like, we've got to be careful with this. But then we started doing an Easter sale. We started doing like a birthday sale. Our monthly sales numbers in between these sales didn't drop. And the conclusion I came to is like, there's some truth to the fact that if you constantly discount, people are going to wait for the discount. There are also people who will always wait for a discount and they won't buy from you unless you have a discount. If you look at, like, a New Zealand example would be like a Briscoe's or EB Games, you know, like, there's always a discount going, and if there's not, there's going to be the next day. But these are big businesses. People know about them, and it's just like something that people know. But if you're like a niche website or you're a course company that's in a small segment of the market, like we are, you're getting leads, new leads coming in every day. I don't think it really matters that much. But the important thing is that you're getting new customers in the door. If you're not getting new leads in and you continue doing the discounting strategy, eventually it's not going to work. As long as you're growing your list, as long as you're reaching new people who haven't seen you in the past, then how do they know that you've done 6 sales in the past 12 months? They don't, right? So that's kind of my take on it.
No, that's a good take. I mean, I think I started down the same route as you. It's like, I don't want to devalue my product. My product is worth this much, if I discount it, it's not as good. But then once you start going down that rabbit hole and you realize, okay, you can start to make more sales and it actually ends up being, more revenue overall, it becomes a tactic, you can use. Do you end up then emailing previous customers with these sales? So for example, someone bought, I know you mentioned you personalized some customers. If they bought one course, you upsell them to a bundle, but then do you still, if you're running a sale, still email these people too, maybe to buy other courses and things like that? Or do you kind of leave your customers as like an extra segmentation on your list?
We do a bit of both. I mean, some sales we won't send to existing customers at all. But when it comes to the big ones, like Black Friday or Easter sale will be coming up, what we do is in the actual email itself, so I use ActiveCampaign, we will have conditional blocks. So if let's say they've purchased course A, and we've got 5 courses, B, C, D, and E, and they're all discounted. But they purchased course A, they won't see in that email that course A is discounted by 50%. It'll just show them course B, C, D, and E. Now, they will, a lot of people will go to the Easter sales page. They'll see that the course is discounted. Sometimes we do get people who are like, hey, I purchased this at full price like a week ago. Usually we'll partially refund those people because, they're inside our money back guarantee window anyway. But it's one of those things where it's like people, I guess as like a business owner, or if you're selling products, you always worry about these things like, oh, what if customers get annoyed about it or pissed off because we're discounting? It's like, I can count on one hand the number of angry emails we've got of people because we discount. It doesn't happen. So yeah.
No, I think the big thing as well that works with the discounts, and I think that's worked with some of the tips I implemented from you, is just the fact that you've anchored the price relatively high. Like, for example, if you're doing a bundle, you've anchored the price so high because you've added your retail price of all 5 of your courses together. Yeah, and it looks like it's like kind of like a 60% off. And that's one, I wouldn't say it's disingenuous what I've done, but I've essentially, from our chat, done 3 different pricing tiers. So the single course is, say, $197. The bundle of 3 courses is $297. But the third pricing option is $997. And that's all the courses plus, say, a call with me and maybe me, consulting or creating something. But that's sold out. You can't buy that.
Yes.
And so that $997 anchors the price for the other stuff. And you go, oh, whoa, those 3 courses are really cheap then, because I could have paid $1,000,
Exactly.
Even though I'm not offering that, but maybe I will offer it in the future and let that run. But I think that kind of price anchoring as well, just in terms of psychology, helps.
Oh, absolutely.
Literally helps sell. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's good. I guess we've talked a little bit about email marketing and in terms of what you do there. Do you have, I guess, when they sign up for a course, do you have anything automated after they come in to kind of groom them in, or people maybe that don't buy a course? How do you groom them into becoming customers essentially?
Sure. Yeah. So we're actually in the process of building out our new system at the moment. But what we've done in the past and what we plan to do just in a better way is have one welcome sequence. Like, I've tried the segmentation thing. We've got 5 different courses. They solve 5 different problems. I've tried like putting people into each different segment, and I'm telling you, man, even at our peak when we were getting like 400 subscribers a day organically, that was during COVID peak. That doesn't happen anymore. But when that was happening, it still didn't make sense. Like, segmentation is like, how do I explain this? It starts becoming super important when you've got a lot of email subscribers. But if you've got one course that does 80% of your revenue, you might as well just send everybody into the flow to sell that course. And yes, some people it won't be suited for, but you can't segment everyone perfectly anyway. So I used to do that. didn't really get any results. We changed to just pushing people into one welcome sequence and one welcome sequence only, and had a lot better results. So we do that. And that's basically just like educational trust building sequence. If they purchase, great, we'll move them on to the next product and next funnel. And if they don't, we'll either put them into the next product funnel, or we'll just put them into like our campaign list. One thing we've also done is, and this is not my idea, it came from Brennan Dunn. He talks about the shadow newsletter. So if you decided, I'm going to go on holiday for 6 months, I'm not going to touch my business, how can you guarantee that people are still going to buy from you? So this is where you might have a 6-month sequence of 1-2 emails a week, which is just sending out to people. And so everyone who joins your list is going to eventually get put into this shadow newsletter sequence. And so you're always getting emails out to them. So that's been quite effective. I see that as like one of the benefits of good email marketing is this long tail approach. Like we've seen people on our list who've been on there for 2 years and then they purchase, like after 2 years. It's like, it's such a long time away, but you can't discount those people. And I think you just need to like keep sending stuff out. That's the other thing I'd say, by the way, like a big part of our email marketing strategy is sending campaigns. Again, I'm not anti-automation, but like there's something to be said about writing 2-3 emails a week, good copywriting, and just sending them out. You can link them to current events. You can link them to promotions you're doing, like all this kind of stuff. So taking a multi-pronged approach of like, we've got this back-end automation and we're sending out emails consistently to our list. I think if someone wants to get better at email marketing, look at what the e-com guys do. Like those guys, some of those e-commerce businesses, like their email marketing systems and structures is insane. They're sending out multiple emails per week, segmentations, next level. They have all the backing stuff in place. I think if you apply that to an info product business, like you will make money for sure.
So then with for example, you've got an autoresponder sequence for 6 months. Are you still sending them your newsletters as well on top of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that's
usually, yeah.
So that's like 2 autoresponders, say Monday, Friday, then on Wednesdays or whatever you're sending them also like a newsletter that might be about current events or something that's recently been posted on the site.
Yeah, and I would say like I'm kind of in two minds about this, to be honest, but I think at this point you should err on the side of sending more email than less email. So like we send at least 3 emails per week. Do we get a lot of unsubscribes? Yeah, we do. But we're getting new leads in, so it's not a huge deal. I think the amount of email that's being sent out these days from influencers, from info product businesses, from e-com, like if you're sending 1 email every 2 weeks, people are going to miss it. They're not going to see it. So you need to be sending out a lot of email. We do that. We kind of focus on both the quality and quantity approach. So I'm not too concerned about someone who's in that 6-month sequence getting an extra email 2 or 3 a week. Like always, we look at the data. And so if we see our unsubscribe rate go up a lot, then it's like, maybe we should pull back a little bit. But for now, it's working.
Nice. A little bit of a curveball here. Then how would you essentially set up your email marketing for someone who's just an affiliate, essentially just has a site about, for example, let's say they're in the EDM industry, but they're just an affiliate for turntables and things like that. Would your approach change in terms of maybe how you'd set up your sequences or how you set up your emails? Because generally you might not be sending out launch emails and product emails unless maybe there is a big sale from an affiliate you're a part of. But would that change at all in terms of how you would go about email marketing?
I would look at first of all, I would look at what the top selling product is that you're an affiliate for. So it says product A, and it brings in like 70% of your affiliate revenue. It's like your email marketing strategy should be focused around that. And I would keep it simple. I would write out like 40 to 60 good emails. It's going to take a lot of time, but write out these emails. Some of them should be hard sell emails. Some of them should be educational. All of them should have a link, an affiliate link to the product, whether it's just like a postscript down the bottom, like, hey, by the way, you might want to check this out. I'd put all those emails together, make sure they're top notch, and then just schedule them out in an autoresponder like every 2 days or so. And so you end up with like this 60, 90-day sequence. I think the longer, the better. A 90-day sequence is always going to be better than a 30-day sequence. And you just have that like cycle over. The other thing you can do, like we've done this, is if you've got a 90-day sequence or longer, you can usually have people cycle through that twice. And if you want to get tricky with it, you can actually set it up in a way where they won't receive the emails that they've opened. This is harder to do now with iOS 15, but in the past, it's quite easy to like have them just skip the emails that they've opened in the past. But we resend emails to our customers and potential customers all the time, like emails that have performed well. What's the worst case scenario? You get someone who emails you and they're like, I got this like 12 months ago, man. Like, why are you resending emails? No one cares. Like,
how close would you resend an email?
Probably about 6 months. You know, I wouldn't put someone into the same 90-day sequence back to back. I think you need something in between that. But yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I think a lot of affiliate or just niche site, I guess, builders kind of sleep on email marketing because that's almost like another thing you have to take care of, another thing that takes your time, maybe away from publishing or getting more content on, especially if monetization is display ads and affiliate, because obviously the more posts you have ranking, bringing traffic, more money. But I think when you have an email list as well, if you're putting them through a 90-day sequence, linking back maybe to your blog, you know, there's more people seeing your display ads, you know, and things like that. So I think email marketing is something that's important just in general for most people's websites. But then how do you bring them onto your list? Like, is there a special way that you do your lead magnet then to bring them on, to maybe groom them to buy an affiliate product or your product? Or is it just more like a, you know, sign up to this and basically get my newsletter?
So what we mostly focus on is, because we're like a content first business, we do what's called content upgrades. So like we'll have an article on, let's say, I'm trying to think of one of our popular ones. We have an article on how to make house music. And then in that article, in multiple places, it's, hey, download our house starter kit. It contains a bunch of, you know, sound samples, so on and so on and so on. It's quite attractive to people because their intent is there. They want to learn how to make house music. They see this free like bundle of resources. They're likely to put in their email. So we focus on that, and we have content upgrades that are specific to the article topic. Now, we don't make a specific lead magnet for each article. That would take way too much time. But we look at our top 10 to 20 articles and we make sure that each one has a highly specific, like high converting lead magnet for that. One thing we're going to be doing going forward into Q1 and Q2 is more focus on paid acquisition. So selling a low ticket product, like under $50, and acquiring leads that way. Even if we break even, it's like I'd much rather have customers than just non-customers on my list. Simple as that.
No, that's a good tactic too. So then if you've got 20, say, articles hyper-focused in terms of their lead magnet, are they getting different welcome emails and different welcome segments, or just all exactly the same, but delivering a different lead magnet?
Yeah, they deliver a different lead magnet, but they all go into that same welcome flow, which I talked about before. Like in the past, we used to segment everyone, but it doesn't make sense, at least not for our business.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I want to take this into, so we've looked at essentially, if you already have an online course or digital or info product business, we've kind of looked at different ways of improving that monetization. But I want to jump into, for someone maybe who's running their own website, whether that's their personal brand or just a basic affiliate website, essentially how you would look to develop online courses or even digital products for them to essentially make more money on their site. Because obviously when we're running affiliate sites or display advertising sites, we're at the mercy of the affiliate program, things like that. You know, we all know about Amazon's commission cuts and things like that, or maybe just at the mercy of just crap affiliate commissions. And when you have your own digital product, you know, you're making 100% of that revenue back. So for someone who's got an affiliate site or a personal brand, how would you go about essentially coming up with the idea of what you're going to create?
So I think there's a few strategies here. The one thing we did to, like, with EDM Foundations, we really nailed that product, and we looked at where was the traffic coming from to our website. 60-70% of the people coming to our website were beginners. So it's like, well, let's make a course for beginners. So there was some validation already there. If you've got an audience or you've got a website, you've got an affiliate site, you're going to have data that you can use to figure out, first of all, which course you should make or which product you should sell. So let's say you run an affiliate site in the cooking niche and you're selling an affiliate course for, I don't know, like, this may not be the best analogy, but like how to cook quickly and effectively, like cooking for busy people, cooking for busy entrepreneurs. And this affiliate product that you're promoting is bringing in like 50% of your revenue. Maybe you should make a course on that, like, and just stop doing affiliate stuff for them. I mean, look, Amazon does this themselves with Amazon Basics, or these sellers use FBA. Oh, look how much money I'm making on Amazon. Amazon comes along. Oh, we're just going to like completely kill the search results for your product, and we're going to take that over ourselves.
Dirty bastards, eh?
Yeah, but I mean, that's business, you know. So I think that's one strategy. Another one is to actually, if you've got an email list or audience, survey them, ask them what their problems are, get insight into that, and kind of develop a course around that. But with both strategies, what I'd say is you want to sell it before you build it. So you don't want to spend 4 months making a course that no one's going to buy. I talked to someone the other day who launched her course to a list of 5,000 people and made like 1 or 2 sales at $600. And it's like, that's soul crushing, especially once you've put in so much work. And so I think what you want to do is pre-sell the course. You come up with an idea, you map it all out, you map out the curriculum, you put a sales page together, and then you send it to your list and say, hey, I'm doing a 50% off pre-order for this. It's launching next month. You set a threshold for yourself. Like, okay, if I don't get 20 purchases, then I won't make the course. And if you don't hit your threshold, then you just refund everyone. So that's what I would recommend. Don't spend months making a course it's not going to sell. Validate first and then build it. And I don't think you can validate a product without actually asking for money. The whole idea of like putting a waiting list together and validating it that way. Look, I've joined like 100 waiting lists and never bought the product. A waiting list is not a commitment. When you pull out your credit card and you pay $50, $100, like that's a commitment, and you need to ask for that.
Oh, those are good points. And I'm going to touch, the answer to this might be that you can't do it. But if I'm, say, an affiliate marketer, I don't have an email list yet, I'm looking to maybe make an info product. Is there a way that I can validate my info product or course idea without an email list, just with traffic maybe coming to the site and, buying affiliate products?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like what I was talking about, like looking at what articles are is most of the traffic going to, and B, what affiliate products or affiliate schemes are like bringing in the most revenue, and just building it around that. So there's a certain article on a certain topic. It's pretty simple. Like if people are going to your website and they're buying affiliate offers through you, they're also going to buy digital products if you make them right and you market them right. It just makes sense, in my opinion. So I would just look at what the numbers say, like simple as that. And if you need further validation, yeah, I mean, it is tough without a list or an audience. You really want to be able to email people directly. Yeah, not too sure.
Yeah,
you could maybe set up like a survey on the website or something like that.
Yeah, maybe going to something like Reddit or Facebook groups might be a way to validate something there. But I mean, I guess to give a crude example of maybe what you're picturing here, maybe take the cooking example. Maybe your best article might be how to cook the best chicken drumsticks or something, and that's bringing in thousands of people a month. So you decide to make maybe an ebook or a course on how to make the best chicken drumsticks. Chuck the lead magnet or whatever it is, the call to action on that page. So when they get through it, oh hey, I just learned something here. This is going to take me to the next step, maybe.
Yeah.
So then it's just about building a story or logical steps, then, isn't it? From whatever it is at the front end they're coming in on. What's the next step in that journey for that person? That's
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's simple enough. Is there anything else that you think we've missed, or anything else that you want to cover in terms of, I guess, online course or info products and other ways to monetize your blogs or anything of the sort?
There certainly is. I'm trying to think about where to start. Well, actually, I'm trying to think about what I can say that isn't just me rambling on, but can actually deliver value. So,
if you start the rambling, then the value will come.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can always edit that stuff out. Yeah, I mean, I've already said a lot of it. I think looking forward. Well, let me say this. Like, maybe the question could be, where do you see the future of digital products and online courses and the marketing required to like make it work? Because I do think this landscape is changing, and it's changing pretty quickly. I think we've seen over the past like 4 to 5 years that paid acquisition has been amazing. And if you've nailed Facebook ads and YouTube ads, like, you've done pretty well. That seems to be shifting a little bit. And I think more and more people are starting to realize now that having an organic audience or good social media profile, good email list is crucial. Like, you need it. And you're seeing this, like, I look at the high ticket guys to see what's going on. So, 2 years ago, high ticket was everything. Get people on a sales course, sell them a course plus coaching. A lot of these guys are now moving towards YouTube. How do I build my YouTube channel? Like, how do I get that big? Because ads aren't working as well anymore with iOS 15. Even email marketing isn't working as well anymore. So I think the future of this is heavily centered around someone's personal brand. And so, like, with the new business I'm building, like I told you off air before this, for the next 6 months, I'm not even thinking about monetization. I'm not even touching on it because, like, yeah, I could take on some coaching clients right now and make some extra cash flow, but like, it's just a distraction. Like, I'm so laser focused on building YouTube and building Twitter. Those are the two platforms I care about. At some point, after 6-12 months, yeah, I'll have enough of an audience to like actually monetize it effectively. But in the meantime, it's just going to be a distraction. So I think that's important. Like, if you haven't got an audience yet and you want to sell a course, get going and build the audience. I think it's the ultimate leverage point. And in terms of platform, it all depends on the market and the niche, obviously. But I do think there's something to be said about YouTube. I think it is one of the best platforms just because it's so evergreen compared to like Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter to an extent. You put a video on YouTube and you get that SEO traffic, like, that can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 5 years.
What if you're not so much an expert in the niche you're in? Are you, because I know, so your background, you have some music producing background. Are you making your courses or are they outsourced?
So I made the initial versions and, my team works on them now. I don't work on product anymore. I'm quite like detached from that business now. If you're not an expert, I don't think you need to be an expert. Like, you need to know what you're talking about for sure. But man, I'm not the best producer. And when I made the first version of the course, I wasn't either. What I was good at was explaining things and teaching. So that's certainly a skill you need to learn, I think, if you want to make courses. The other thing I'd say, though, especially if you're building an audience, you can actually document, like Gary Vaynerchuk says this, and I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but like document what you're learning. So let's say you want to, I don't know, let's say you're passionate about cooking. I always use the word, it's just like the easiest, it's the first thing that comes to mind. I don't even cook, man. It's not even something I do. But anyway, you're passionate about cooking, you know nothing about cooking. It's like, how do I build a YouTube channel about something I know nothing about? It's like, start documenting it. Go read a book like Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Chef and just like, here's 10 things I learned from the 4-Hour Chef. Make a YouTube video about it. Start building up that audience. After a year or two, you're going to have this audience, you're going to have the skill, but you might also come across something else along the way that's like, this is what I need to make a course on instead of this and this and this. Yeah, I think to sum it up, like, you don't have to be an expert, and document it along the way and see what happens. But I get why you asked the question, because there are a ton of courses out there that are just not
Trash.
that good. Yeah, 100%. And they're taught by people who don't know what they're talking about. And they're just trying to make a quick buck. And I think you should avoid that. If you're in a position where you don't have a skill set or you don't have experience, it's like, I would say, yeah, this might be controversial, but if I was to go back, I would probably focus on like high ticket services. If I didn't have a skill set at all, I'd spend 6 months developing a high income skill set like copywriting. And then I would actually sell services to clients. You are trading your time for money, but it's a lot easier than like trying to make a course in a subject you know hardly anything about and sell it to an audience that you don't have. Start there and then start scaling out the digital product side of things.
Yeah, I mean, if you go down that route anyway, if you spend 6 months learning and then 6 months with clients, you've got enough material to start, or even
you've got case studies, testimonials. Exactly.
And I think even at that stage, like beginners can often relate to beginners as such. I mean, as someone looking to learn something, you want to learn from the best, you want to learn from the top guys, but sometimes it can be relatable to someone who's maybe 2 years into the journey, who's got the same, gone through the same problems as you. You know, those things can be solvable, you know, within that as well.
Absolutely.
So that's something to think about as well. Where are you hosting your courses then? Is there a specific platform that you, I guess, think is the most useful and or best for beginners to start with?
Yeah, I think they're all pretty similar, like the big ones. We use Teachable. I've used Podia. I've used Thinkific. I've even tried like WordPress membership plugins. They're all pretty much the same. If you want to save money, then like WordPress is probably the best, but it's just a hassle to manage everything. So like, I think they're all fine. I think that's one of those things that like I have a lot of people asking me about it. It's like, just pick one. It's not going to change things. Like, just pick one and build the course.
Yeah, that's good advice. If I was going to give, I hosted my courses on Thrive Apprentice, so I guess that's WordPress based, but I had problems with people not getting the registration emails.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was just maybe going to spam or like some people were getting them, some people weren't. And then I think it was earlier this month, someone bought my bundle and just like a day later wanted a refund because just I sent him his login details. He just couldn't access the courses.
Oh man!
And at that point, I was like, I'm done, and just ended up moving. Thrivecart Learn is also a decent platform at the moment, just because they just released that. So if anyone who wants to basically jump on the course, Thinkific will give you, I think, 3 free courses to start and it integrates with most things. Thrivecart is a one-time lifetime deal. So that's another way you can keep your costs down. And then obviously the Thrive themes is another way that's relatively cheap to do it if you want to go the WordPress way. And then obviously you've got like integrated ones like Kajabi and things, which but that's more of like a all-in-one solution, email marketing, websites, all that stuff, and they'll charge you for that too. So that's just something to be aware of for anyone looking to, you know, maybe looking down which kind of tech stack they're going to go down. So anything else you want to cover at the end of this podcast?
I think I've covered it all that I can think of.
No, awesome. Well, we'll leave it there. It's been close to 50 minutes anyway. So thanks for coming on, Sam. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's been awesome chatting.
Awesome. And we need to plug your Twitter and YouTube for those who want to check out your content.
So I'm at Sam Matla on Twitter. That's Matla. It's not Malta. It's not the country. Honestly, like 50% of people that see my name, they're like, "Oh, Sam Malta." So, yeah, I get why you think that, but it's not. And then YouTube, I literally just started it, so I can't even give you like a link because it's like a bunch of random characters and stuff. But if you search Sam Matla, you'll find it on YouTube. It's the one with the videos that have been uploaded recently. So I'll let people.
What kind of content's going on the YouTube?
Mostly business stuff, like scaling course companies. The video I put out today was high ticket versus low ticket. Like, which model should you choose? So that'll be a controversial one because, you know, high ticket guys want to say that their models are best and low ticket guys want to say that their model. So I look at both options, but yeah, mostly business stuff for now. Awesome.
So if you guys listen to this now, make sure you like and subscribe to this video and then go over to Sam's channel and do the same thing, like and subscribe his videos. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, and we'll chat soon.
Sounds good. See you later.
Cheers.
Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're listening to the podcast version of this episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please rate and review, as this will allow us to grow our audience and create more shows like this one. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to be the first to know about any new episodes that we release. Until the next episode, goodbye.